What's up, y'all? Entropy here. Welcome back to Freeport Tech Dynasty. 3-1 on the season, coming off a heartbreaking loss last week, which is only heartbreaking just because of how close we were, but we nearly took down number 16 Tennessee last week, which was absolutely insane. I guess technically 2 weeks ago because we had a bye week, but last episode, that is what you saw. And man, oh man, it is great to be 3-1 right now with that being our one loss. One thing I did notice, though, is I was looking here at the team scope. I wanted to see who Army had played, and I noticed we haven't beaten an FBS team, or a team in general, that actually has a win on their record. Houston has fallen to 0-4. I guess they were so disheartened from losing to us at home that they've almost mailed it in on their entire season. We had, of course, the FCS school that we beat down in week 1, and then Sam Houston we beat week 3, who are also 0-4. So we don't actually have a win against a team with a registered win, which is kind of insane. But I was looking at Army because I wanted to see what they had been up to this season. So they barely lost to a 4-1 Kansas team, 30-27, beat Tulsa, and then smoked Memphis, one of the best teams in the American Conference. I mean, they're probably the team to beat in the conference in terms of like overall, but they're only 3-3 on the year. One of those losses was to Army, 37-16 at Memphis, and they are also coming off a bye. Army is, so they are going to be a tough opponent. This isn't a team that we're going to be able to just overpower. I know last season our one FBS win came against Navy on the road in kind of a similar time of the year as well. That was like our maybe 4th or 5th game of the season. I don't remember, but similar. It was early in the season. And it was a road game against the Service Academy, and we were able to take Navy down. We have a very similar setup here, but I think Army looks like they're going to be a tough opponent for us to start out conference play here. They're already 2-0 in conference play. There isn't a whole lot to talk about in recruiting. It's still kind of the same cast of characters on the board, but the one thing is something that I did talk about in the last episode, which is Ofisa Vea is getting more visits on the schedule. Arkansas has a week 9 visit set up with them. They're in 4th place comfortably. It looks like Texas Tech just passed them, so they're not necessarily our primary competition for him. However, it's still a Power 4 school. And honestly, right now, I'm just thankful that Alabama hasn't really entered the race at all. They haven't even offered him a scholarship. But it is looking more and more like our only chance of landing a Ofisa Vea is going to be for that visit that we have him scheduled for going well. We're going to have to win this game against UTSA if we want to have a chance at winning this. It looks like our impact actually got worse. I believe when I scheduled this visit, it was 3 up arrows for a win and 3 up arrows for a loss, but I guess UTSA falling to 1-3 isn't helping that case, unfortunately. So, that sucks, because we're gonna need as big of a boost as possible on this visit week. So we're gonna need a win, and we're probably gonna have to win pretty comfortably to have a good shot at this. Thankfully, Oklahoma State has scheduled their visit very late in the season, so if all goes well, maybe we'd have a chance to lock him up and get a commitment before that. But I don't know if we're gonna be able to get him committed before that week 9 visit he's got set up with Arkansas, and heaven forbid Texas Tech slides in with a week 8 visit or something like that. I mean, it'll be a tight race for Vea's commitment. So he's our highest rated recruit on the board. He is the guy that I would love to land the most, knowing that our receiver room is losing its top 2 players that we got from the transfer portal, but they're seniors, so we'll be losing them after this season. So we're going to need to retool the receiver room, and Ofisa Vea would be an incredible way of doing it. He would come in with 91 speed, good route running, good catching. Really, I mean, look at all of his numbers. All of his numbers look good. Like, all his attributes are very good, and he's got 3 mental abilities as well. The only thing a little lacking is his awareness, which is 66, but that's something that will improve as his career goes on. So, but he's coming in with tremendous physical attributes, and he's a top 100 guy. So, yeah, that's really the only update on the recruiting board, because not much else has really happened, which I guess isn't necessarily a bad thing because we are leading for a number of guys. But yeah, Ofisa Vea's recruitment is continuing to tighten up here. We're going to go with the black helmets and black pants to pair with the white top this week. Ooh, we got the flyover from the helicopters, which is just awesome. One of the coolest things about playing the service academies is the pregame fanfare. As here come the Black Knights, obviously all with Army across the back of their jersey. I did an Army rebuild just on my own time years ago, and it was a ton of fun. I really enjoy running the triple option offense. It was an absolute blast. And yeah, I don't expect them to be an easy opponent because the service academies rarely are. They're very tough. As here come the Marlins on the field at, I believe it's pronounced Mikey Stadium or something. I always assumed it was Mitchie, but I don't think that's correct. So yeah, we'll see if we can get our first conference win of the season in our first conference game of the season. We're kicking off to start. Interesting that their two impact players are both corners. That's not what I would expect from this team, but that it definitely is noteworthy. Maybe we'll have to hope the run game is working, I guess. Okay, well, clearly Army has gotten a new offensive coordinator because they're not coming out in the flex bone. They're coming out in a shotgun spread look. Yeah, look at this. They're running gun trips on their second play. So this is not even close to the offense I was expecting from them. So that's, I don't know if it's concerning or not, but I'm definitely going to have to mentally adjust here. It's a handoff for Army, and it is going to be a first down. The blocking set up well as they kind of spread our defense out. It's a keeper for the quarterback, something we'll probably see a lot today, but Jace Nolan was ready for it. Brings him down for a loss of 1. Oh, it's another keeper. We weren't quite as ready for it that time. Micah Brewer, who is our #1 corner with J.D. Drew still being injured. Oh, Taven Jackson is their quarterback? Oh, I remember him from Indiana. Yeah, okay. Yeah, he's definitely good with his legs. We're going to have to keep an eye on him. Army keeping it going with the option looks, and the quarterback escapes again. Chased down by Jace Nolan, but they're on the right side of midfield. Our defense kind of reeling a little bit. Taven this time does hand it off, and Nolan there for the TFL loss of 3. Coming out in the diamond formation on the left side there. They got 3 receivers, and I assume the running back. And Taven just keeps it, and no one is there, and it's a huge run for Taven Jackson down inside the 30. This time it's a handoff to the running back, and he's got a running room, and he's off down the sideline, steps out of bounds trying to cut back. A running back wearing number 83 is certainly fascinating. Weirdly enough, it's not even the first time we've seen a running back wearing a receiver number. If you remember the Sam Houston game, something Cheek, I can't remember his first name, but he was wearing number like 81, I think. Oh, as Chester Kafka burst through the line, and that's another TFL for this defense. Unfortunately, it hasn't helped too much as Army's down on the 14. Hand off to the running back, trying to get to the edge, and he's brought down by Scott, who I believe is one of our, he's like our nickelback or something. Marcus Burris Jr. injured on the play, though. That is unfortunate. One of our best defensive linemen, a guy from the transfer portal. 3rd and 8 for Army, trying to not get held to a field goal here on their first drive. And it's just a pop-up to the back of the end zone. Are you kidding me? It's completed. That had absolutely no business being a catch. That was a horrific throw from Taven Jackson, and our corner just couldn't quite get over there, and Israel Polk was able to somehow bring that in. I mean, how in the world is that completed? That was a ridiculous pop-up from Taven Jackson. Hip bursitis for Burris, so we'll sub in whoever for now. Obviously, we're not going to be on defense. Are they reviewing it? Looks like they may be reviewing it. I don't know why he stuck the ball out, which is not a smart move there, as I could very easily get dislodged, but it looks okay to me, so I don't think that is going to be overturned. I don't even know why they're bothering to review it. Mekhi Sanders, I don't think I said his name. That is the guy in coverage who's getting a lot of playing time now because of the J.D. Drew injury, so if Army is not a traditional Service Academy offense, we could be in trouble. I mean, they're almost playing like an air raid team. They're coming out in shotgun every play. Some options still worked in, obviously, but yeah, like, this is not what I was expecting from them. Jelani Watkins, of course, the superstar from the game against Tennessee, with a punt return for a touchdown. Oh my gosh, he almost got loose again. He kind of ran into his own blocker, but it was a good return for him nonetheless. Jordan Faison taking the field now. He's been okay for us. Our passing game hasn't been like prolific, hasn't put up a ton of numbers, but Faison's been a very dependable player for us. We ran this play against Sam Houston the first play, and the defense wasn't ready for it. We're going to try it again here. A deep ball to Blake Smith, and he gets it! It's a catch. It wasn't a great throw from Zion Chris. The tight end had to turn around to make the catch instead of catching it in stride, but it's a huge play on first down for Freeport Tech, as we've got to definitely answer on this drive, so it's a great way to start it. Hand off to Duke Clark, cuts it up the middle, great blocking, and it is going to be another first down for Freeport Tech. Keeper for Chris this time. Tried to cut behind Smith, but he didn't quite engage his block in time, so gain of 5 still good, though. A little flip out to LeCount. Oh, Blake Smith sold on the block and the corner with a huge hit on the tight end, knocking LeCount back. Holy crap, what a hit. That could have been a touchdown, and Smith just didn't engage with the guy. First and goal here. This has been a great drive for the offense. Let's see if we can finish it off. Duke Clark cuts it outside, and he's in! Touchdown Marlins! Duke Clark getting us started with the scoring, and it's great to see him playing. He hasn't been, if you watch throughout this season, you know, Duke Clark has been our best running back for sure. He was a transfer portal get from Florida, and when he's played, he's been awesome. However, he has struggled mightily with wear and tear this year, often sitting out large portions of the second halves of games, which has sucked because, you know, we only have him outside. He's the only new, like bona fide good running back we have. We have the 2 carryovers from last year, Marquise Taylor and Jalen Brooks, who are good running backs, but Clark's a step above them. And then we have the freshman Antonio Bickley. So we need Clark to stay on the field for us. Hopefully, Army had a long drive on that first drive of theirs, so maybe if they string some long drives together, it'll give him more time to catch his breath, I guess. I don't know, but all that to say, great to see him get a touchdown. 7-7 game here. Taven Jackson with the keep. Oh, who was that? Someone sold on the tackle. I think it was our nickel back there, and Jace Nolan injured on the play. That's not good. You hate to see one of your better players on defense get injured there. A guy we had last year as well. I don't know who that was, but our nickelback, might have been Marquez Vick maybe, just completely whiffed on that tackle. It's a handoff, and Kafka, who I assume is in the game because Jace Nolan got hurt, immediately makes his presence felt with the TFL. Elbow bursitis, Jace will return soon. All right, we'll substitute in whoever for now. Every injury is high re-injury risk, so I've never had anyone actually try to fight through it because I don't want to lose guys long term. Second and 13, it's a handoff, and there isn't anyone out there. Can Scott make the tackle? No, he can't. Well, he does make the tackle, but it's well past the first down line, and that is just too bad. Oh my gosh, that play got absolutely blown up. I believe that's actually Burris. Good to see him back on the field again with the TFL, and Army loses 4. That's going to bring us to the end of the first drive. Army, 97 rushing yards and 6 passing yards. So they're coming out in air raid looks, but they're still running the ball just an absolute ton. So it's still kind of the same old Army, just a different look than what we were expecting. It's play action. Jackson looking wide the crap open as the tight end over on the left side. Dante Carter couldn't quite make the play, and it's a first down. He was just left all alone. I called a zone defense, but I guess someone abandoned their zone on the left side because there was no one over there. Another keeper. Oh my gosh, McCann's bit too hard, and Taven Jackson is off and running down at about the 38-yard line, but gosh dang, they are still killing us on the ground. Handoff, blocking that time was much better. Dante Carter comes up and makes the tackle. Another handoff and another first down for Army. Tyron Scott, it looked like it was, came over and made the tackle. Another handoff, and Kafka there again with a tackle. He's been all over the field in this first half, despite only having 2 tackles there. I feel like I've called his name more than twice. Jackson drops back, looking all day to throw a pass rush, non-existent. Makai Sanders does bring the receiver down, but he lets him get 8 yards. 3rd and 2. I feel like we haven't gotten Army at a 3rd down like at all game. As it's a keeper, speed option, look, Freeney whiffs, and it's a touchdown. What the frick, dude? Freeney was right there, had a great chance to stop him short of the line to gain. and just didn't try and tackle him there. I was hitting like the X button to try and get him to do like the wrap tackle or conservative tackle or whatever they call it. But that's just an outright whiff by Freeney. And the running back ran away from Kafka, and I couldn't quite tell who the other guy was, but man, that is frustrating. We had them stopped finally, and they're able to get it in the end zone to go back up by a touchdown with that extra point. Gosh dang it, guys. Hand off to Clark, gets the edge, good blocking, tried to cut back inside, manages 6. Running a speed option of our own, Chris with the pitch over to Clark, and that didn't go anywhere. The defense was all over it. It's going to bring up 3rd and 6. 3rd down, I want Watkins, and he's got it. I conservative caught that because I was very worried about the defender in front of him knocking it out, which is unfortunate because there was a lot of green grass ahead of him. But either way, we got the conversion. Play action. Got Watkins over on the right side. He'll catch it and run and get the 1st down. Nice. Phase on over the middle. Pass protection was incredible there. Chris just had all the time in the world. Faison actually fumbled the ball, but fumbled it right out of bounds, so it doesn't even matter. Favorite little RPO play. This time it goes to Jalen Brooks. Couldn't get around the defender. Gets 4. Man, this half is going fast. We're already coming up on the 2-minute timeout. Clark with the carry. Nowhere to go. It's going to bring up 3rd and 10. We're going to let the clock run to the 2-minute timeout. Dang it, man. 3rd and 10. Just got out of the 2-minute timeout. I'd really hate to have to settle for a field goal. We're going to try and fit it to Broussard, and Chris missed. There is a flag on the play, though. We'll see what this is. Oh my gosh, they got him for pass interference. Obviously, we are going to accept it. What an absolute bailout from the defender there. I mean, we were stopped. Chris missed that throw completely, but because of the penalty, we got a 1st down. Clark gets the carry. No running room. Chris bails out left. Can he get some blocks? LeCount does block, but Chris kind of ran out of sideline. I probably should have tried cutting it inside. It's going to bring up 3rd and 2. I believe in the O-line. I believe in Duke Clark. I think we can get this on the ground. And we do. Duke Clark, great hole opened up for him. Gets down to about the 5. Army's starting to call their timeouts now. We start with the ball in the 2nd half, so they're going to want to try and score if we do get a touchdown here. Broussard, the man in motion. Actually, I probably should have thrown it to him. Blake Smith makes himself available, and he's going to be a touchdown! Blake Smith powering into the end zone, dragging defenders on his way, and Freeport Tech an extra point away from tying this game up with just over a minute left in this 1st half. It was a long, grueling drive for the offense. A couple guys that were having some wear and tear pop up for them there, so glad we were able to capitalize and get a touchdown. All right, now we'll kind of see what Army looks like when they have to throw the ball. With 1 minute and 7 seconds here, they're not going to be able to option their way down the field. A little quick hitter, not going to get them more than 5. Taven Jackson looking, finds a receiver in the soft spot in the zone, down to about midfield, and they call a timeout. I mean, they're very close to being at field goal range. Although I guess I don't know how good their kicker is. College kickers are much worse than NFL kickers, obviously. Play action. Jackson finds the running back over to the right side, out at the 40 and out of bounds, which will stop the clock. It's actually going to be a handoff. Oh my gosh, Derek Simmons off the edge just destroyed that play. He was engaged with a blocker and just grabbed the running back anyway. 3rd and 4. Jackson drops back to pass, looking. Deep over the middle, he's got a receiver. Dante Carter and Mekhi Sanders combined for the tackle. Army out of timeouts now, but they are well within field goal range. And barring some horrendous clock management, which is something we have seen in this series, they're very likely to take the lead here before the end of the half. Maybe we can force a turnover. Oh, it's another. Oh my gosh, it was actually knocked out. I don't know if Sanders got a hand on it or not. If he did, that was an incredible play. It's going to be 3rd and 10. Jackson drops back to pass again. Underneath, has a receiver. Dante Carter makes the play. They're going to come out and attempt the field goal, and unless they run out of time, doesn't look like they will be able to get this off. 4th and 2. Here's a snap. Kick is up, and kick is good. Army executes this wasn't even a 2-minute drill, it was a 1-minute drill, and they are able to take the lead with exactly 1 second left in the half. I will most likely just try and return this kick with this last... Yeah, I'm going to have to because it's short of the end zone. Lonnie Watkins will field it. There's a lane. Oh my gosh, Lonnie Watkins. Does he have it? He does! He's gonna go! The hero from last week's game against Tennessee has a kick return for a touchdown for Freeport Tech. What a play from Jelani Watkins. He had the punt return last week for a touchdown, and with literally a second left in the half, rips off a kick return for a touchdown as well. And Army's fans have got to be stunned. Look at them. They're all wondering how they could let that happen as we end up going into the half with a lead. Army had the ball for 10 minutes in that first half. That's crazy. Their time of possession game was nuts. But that's what happens when you run the ball a lot and get a lot of first downs. You will run the clock. But Freeport Tech, when all's said and done, did have enough in them to get it. I was watching the play and I kind of lost my sense, but they do end up with a lead going into halftime, and we're starting with the ball. Awesome. Start of the second half here. We'll start with another play action like we did on the first drive. We had both tight ends wide open. We just gave it to Blake Smith, so we had LeCount as a lead blocker, and that's a great first play of the drive. Another play action. This time Chris is going to roll right. Oh no, he airmailed it a bit to Watkins and it's picked off. That corner, I don't know why he made, like how he was aware enough to come off Broussard and make that play, but he did. And Zion Chris, his first mistake of the game really, he's been very, very good. I didn't know they had the turnover axe in West Point, but Kayan Lee is able to make the interception, and that is, man, we had all the momentum on our side. I thought maybe I could get that to Watkins, and if the other defender hadn't, he would have had a chance, but it's an interception. Dang it. It's a handoff, and Paulafarini comes up and makes the TFL. RPO from Army. Kennedy able to make the tackle, the freshman linebacker, getting a lot of playing time. 3rd and 6. Can the defense get off the field here? Taven's got all day, looks to the left side. Sanders wasn't even looking, and it gives up the big play. Ty Lockwood injured on the play. If it was the guy that made the catch, he looks okay. I don't know what his injury could have been there, but dang it, man. We cannot get off the field against this team. It's a little flip out to the running back. Wyatt Foster comes over and makes the play. Play action. Over the middle, he's got a receiver. Marquez Vick couldn't quite get there in coverage, and it's going to be another first down. Blitz from the Marlins. Oh, Carter, come on, man. You got to make that tackle. And it's a huge gain. I mean, 9 yards isn't like the biggest gain in the world, but that should have been a loss of like 3, and instead it was a gain of 9. Jackson drops back. All kinds of pressure, and he's going to go down. Marcus Burris with the sack. It looked like Kafka was in there as well, and it's going to be 3rd and 9 for Army. We have got to get off the field here. If we can hold them to a field goal, we'll maintain our lead. It's a little pass to the running back, and Burris actually pushed him forward for the first down. I think Vic might have been able to stop him short of the line to gain, but because of Burris kind of jumping on him, on his back essentially, he pushed him ahead for the first down. Dang it. Handoff to the running back, Freeney, coming up from his safety spot. He threw the guy down, but he kind of threw him forward. What is it with our defense? We can't keep giving them free yards, guys. It's a handoff, and Corbin Ostergaard, the freshman linebacker, making his presence felt and doing the too small and rocking the baby. Disrespectful from the freshman. It's a handoff, and it's going to be close, but he's not quite going to get it. 4th and 1, and they're going to go for it. It went 5 wide, which immediately makes me think this is going to be a QB run. It's not actually. He drops back to pass, and it's batted down! Incomplete, and Freeport Tech is going to take over on their own 9. I think it was Marcus Burris that got his big paw up there. That was awesome. Chris with a little speed option, and Clark nowhere to go again, loses 2. So play action, and boy, the pass rush got in there, but he's going to hit Faison. What a throw on the run from Zeon Chris, and it gives us a whole lot of breathing room. Pitch out to Clark. Oh, he bounced way too far inside there. There was a lane, but he kind of missed it to the left. Oh, I wanted to hit Broussard there. I thought he was going to stop at the top of his route, but he didn't, and it falls incomplete. It's going to be 3rd and 10. I want Watkins across the field. No one can keep up with him, and it's a first down for the Marlins. A huge conversion as this third quarter is starting to wind to a close. Start of the fourth quarter, Freeport Tech still holding on to a 4-point lead here against Army. And, man, Duke Clark has had nowhere to go today. He's been met by a defender in the hole, like, almost every single handoff he's gotten. This time it's going to be a keeper for Chris, and he's got a lot of running room. It's going to be a first down. Zeon Chris spins down at the 39. Oh, I tried to get it to Broussard, and it was just a little late. Unfortunately, the pass rush got in there. Clark with the handoff. Oh, I saw a window there, and it closed real quickly. It's going to be 3rd and 6. We got to try and keep this drive going. I don't want to give Army the ball back. We're going to try and hit Broussard, and he's got it. What a catch. First and goal from the 3. Zeon Chris dropped it right in the bucket, and we are going to be very close to punching it in for another touchdown here. Hand off to Clark. He's going to get it. Touchdown, Marlins. Duke Clark, his 2nd touchdown of the game, and we are going to be up 2 scores on Army here on the road with just over 6 minutes to go in the game. Huge drive from the offense, a couple big 3rd down conversions. And that is how you get a comfortable lead, is you just got to keep the pressure on offense. Duke Clark, not a lot of running room today, but he's made it count in the red zone. That's a quick hitter out to the flat for, I don't know if that's a running back or a receiver, but it's going to be 1st and 10. Oh, Israel Polk, he's the guy that had the touchdown earlier. It's a handoff. Running back spinning, but has nowhere to go, only gets 1 yard. We just can't let him score quickly. We got to make this drive last as long as possible. Play action, underneath to the tight end. Oh, and it's out! Ball's on the ground, picked up by Dimitri Dunsmore, the freshman defensive tackle, who was the one that forced the fumble. What a hit! And that almost feels like it's the dagger for Army. Down 11, 5 minutes to go. They could not afford to turn it over. They couldn't even afford to come up empty. It looks like they're crediting Chester Kafka with the forced fumble, which it may have been. Wow, what a hit. We're trying the speed option again. They were ready for it. See how Chris keeps it himself, and there he goes down the sideline. Cuts back inside. Touchdown, Marlins. Zeon Chris makes the turnover hurt just a little more by taking it himself on the first play of the drive. What a run from the quarterback. That's why we went and got him in the portal. He can use his legs and do a lot of damage to defenses. And look at him just cut right around that guy, too. That's a nice juke for a quarterback. And this game is comfortably out of reach for Army at this point. Nowhere to go for Army on their first play of the drive. Ah, got a receiver underneath. Ball's on the ground again! And Wyatt Foster scoops it up. He might have been the one that forced the fumble as well. Oh, gosh, Army is just imploding as we speak. 4 minutes to go, and they've turned it over for the 2nd consecutive drive. Pitch out to Clark. Cuts it back inside. Cuts back outside. It's a first down. Hey, actually, you know what? Maybe we should consider bringing the backups in. I don't want to risk anyone getting injured here. That's not what we need. We're thin enough at like every position. We don't need any stupid injuries. Haas Haney, the other transfer portal quarterback, and the guy that we'll probably see running the show next year, if all goes according to plan, including him not hitting the transfer portal. Jalen Brooks also in the game now at running back, and the blocking's very good for him. Doesn't quite get the first down, but makes it 2nd and 1. Keeper for Haney, and boy, they must have read the scouting report on our backups because they were ready for that. Third and 4, other side of the 2-minute timeout. Now almost a 2-minute warning. That's how it's called in the NFL. A 2-minute timeout here. And I just want to see Haney run the ball. So we're just going to call a QB zone here and see what he can do. Cuts back inside and is going to be short. It's going to make it 4th and 1. So I don't really want to kick a field goal though, because then it's like that's just going to prolong the game more. We're gonna try and just pick up the first down and kneel it out. Zach Montgomery will be sent into motion here. A guy we have not called the name of very much this season just because we have more receivers. Oh, and Haney powers in. It's going to be a touchdown. I just ran that just to try and get the first out at the very least, but Haney showing some impressive power. I don't think he's a very big guy, but absorbed the hit from the defender and spun into the end zone. Haas Haney, his first touchdown as a Marlin. Obviously, we expected if he was going to have one this year, it would be in garbage time, but still, very awesome to see. Army, looks like they're just accepting defeat here, also choosing to run the ball, and it's going to just, the clock's just going to run out here. I don't see them trying anything. Oh, wow, Jackson on the keeper. Find some running room, and that's, oh boy, D'Angelo Malone or Doug, I don't remember the guy's name, but our backup safety forcing him out of bounds. Jet touch pass here, and nowhere to go. Man, he had all day to throw. He finally just uncorks it deep, and it's knocked down by Malone, which is, of course, going to stop Dustin Malone. I knew it began with a D, but I couldn't remember because he barely plays. But it's only 5 seconds left. Final play of the game here, I assume, as Jackson will drop back. Hit as he throws, falls incomplete. Of course we're going to have one more play, and they're going to punt. Are you serious? You know, screw it. We're just going to try and block this. Why not? Oh, I almost jumped off sides with Patterson. This is going to be the final play of the game, obviously. No one got home on the punt block, but that's fine. Marquise Taylor is our backup punt returner, apparently, and he could not evade the tackler, but that is going to do it. Freeport Tech on the road gets a commanding victory over Army, no pun intended, 42-17. Zion Chris, incredible. We'll get to individual players in a second, but great showing against an Army team that is a very strong team. I mean, they're going to make some noise in the American. They already have. They were 2-0 in conference play before playing us, so they're already on their way to having a nice season for themselves. But Freeport Tech on the road picks up the win. Just love to see it for sure. Even got the backups a little bit of action, which is always exciting. I don't know why. What the heck? Why does it say? It definitely was not 48-14. I don't know why it's showing that as the final score here. But, whatever. Let's look at the stats. Taven Jackson, for what it's worth, had a very good game. 20 for 24 for 200 yards and a touchdown, no interceptions. I mean, it's a good day for him, especially a guy who in real life isn't known for being a passer. He did his damage against us, that's for sure. Zion Chris, though, incredible showing outside of the interception to start the second half. He had 11 for 14, 78% completions, 215 yards, and a touchdown. It's so nice to see completion percentages north of 50 something, like north of 60, I guess I should say. Because I feel like every game in Season 1, our completion percentage was like at best 58%. So Zion Chris has been everything we could have hoped for so far this season at the quarterback spot. He's been a very nice get in the transfer portal, and we're very happy to have him. The run game was kind of weird today. Zion Chris had 4 for 57 and a touchdown. His touchdown run, of course, was a 30-yarder, it looks like. So he had one long run that's inflating that a little bit. But he can do some damage with his legs. His archetype is a pure runner, which is kind of interesting because I feel like he's a solid passer for us. He's not like, you know, I would be concerned about a pure runner struggling to throw the ball and being like inaccurate and stuff. And I mean, in fairness, Chris did have at least 2 quite inaccurate throws that I can think of off the top of my head. But still, I mean, good game for him on the ground. Duke Clark, 13 for 41, tough sledding, did have 2 touchdowns though, and I think most notably, he survived the entire game. He was out there. He had some struggles with wear and tear, where I wasn't really talking about it, I don't think, but you know, I monitor my players' wear and tear in between every play, essentially. It just usually doesn't make it into the final cut of the episode. But I was monitoring him. He was having some drives where he was feeling it, but to his credit, he stuck it out, and most drives he was kind of okay when all was said and done. So very nice to see because he's our best running back, and I would like him on the field as much as possible. Jalen Brooks did come in, get 1 carry for 9 yards. And how about Haas Haney? Another pure runner archetype, so I obviously haven't really thrown the ball with him yet, but he is only a sophomore, so we'll have potentially 2 years of him going forward, which would be awesome. But he had 3 carries for 6 and a touchdown. Obviously, the one was by far his best carry. I think it actually might have been a more than 6 yards. Yeah, his long was a 7-yard rushing touchdown. But how about the power? 6 foot 199. Not a huge guy. Zion Chris 6'3", 212. Much more built for running the ball a lot. But Haney, no, he's a tough dude for sure. I mean, I am excited about the prospects of potentially using him in the future, especially with his 93 speed. Yeah, 93 speed that he got upgraded this past offseason. So an exciting backup, which is something that I wasn't 100% sure we'd have. And of course, we have the freshman we recruited this past recruiting cycle as well. So our quarterback room's quite full at the moment. Jordan Faison ended up being our leading receiver on the day. How about that? Good to see. He's our top guy, but just with the nature of our offense, he hasn't had a ton of huge games, and he didn't have a touchdown in this one, but 3 for 67, very dependable guy. Good to see that. Blake Smith also was very good, 3 for 65, and of course the touchdown where he powered through the entire defense. Jelani Watkins, 3 for 36. After last week against Tennessee, it's a lesser stat line than you might expect, but still did his thing. Harvey Broussard III, of course, had his great catch down the sideline to help put the game on ice. Eric LeCount had the 1 for 11, and Jalen Brooks had 1 for 4 on that RPO play we love so much. Blocking, Tyquan Reed and Peyton Kirkland with 4 pancakes each. That's a low number for Kirkland based on the last few weeks. So, I don't know. He took a week off, I guess. But in all seriousness, great play from the right side of our offensive line. We've had that all year, and it's been great to see. Although I think these guys might actually both be playing on the left side now that I think about it. I think they're both actually on the left side because we've wanted our best lineman on the left side. So ignore that comment. Isaiah Griffin, who I believe is actually playing right tackle, also had 1 pancake and no sacks given up, which is awesome. How about the defense? Wow, look at this distribution. We don't have a single guy over 6 tackles. We have 5 guys that do have 6 tackles. In Tyron Scott, who I believe is playing like second string slot corner for us, and I think he's seeing some more playing time because of the J.D. Drew injury. Wyatt Foster with 6, Kafka with 6, Dante Carter, the safety, with 6, and Paul Freeney, the other safety, with 6, and then Mekhi Sanders and Marquez Vick with 5 apiece. A whole lot of TFLs, good lord. Chester Kafka had 3, Marcus Burris Jr. had 2, Derek Simmons had 2. One of them was impressive, too, while literally powering through a blocker, grabbing the running back. So that was awesome. Jace Nolan had 2 himself. I don't think he ever came back in the game, so hopefully he's okay. It didn't look like his injury was going to be serious, but he also never came back, so it's hard to say. Darius Holmes, one of our backup linebackers. Corbin Ostergaard, of course, he had his 1 tackle and proceeded to emote on Army, which was crazy. Xavier Kennedy had a TFL as well as Paul Freeney. Gosh dang. And then we only had 1 sack as a team, Marcus Burris Jr. and Chester Kafka combined, so they each got a half sack for it. Did not have any turnover or interceptions, I should say. Dustin Malone and Marcus Burris Jr. with the flag. Okay, so it was Burris who got his big mid up there to knock down that 4th down pass by Army, which was awesome. We had 2 forced fumbles. Marquez Vick and Kafka were credited with them. There were kind of a few guys around the players, so it was hard for me to tell who was making it. I don't think I said Marquez Vick forced the fumble earlier, but because I think I thought it was someone else. But Vick and Kafka each forcing a fumble, and then Dimitri Dunsmore, the freshman defensive tackle, and Wyatt Foster each grabbing a fumble. So that was awesome to see from the defense. Obviously, it was at the point where we had I think we even had a 2-score lead at the time, but it was still just nice to see them making plays and really just putting the game away entirely. And of course, I gotta talk about our guy, Jelani Watkins, in the return game, who had 4 kick returns. His longest was, of course, the 96-yarder for a touchdown. That speed of his is insane. I am praying that we don't lose him in the transfer portal somehow. I do believe his deal breaker was playing time, which was a huge reason why we were able to get him in the transfer portal to begin with. But he's only a sophomore. We could have him for potentially 2 more years, which is a very exciting idea. So hopefully that is the case, but in the meantime, we're going to enjoy having him for this season because he has been an absolute treat to watch. I mean, last week was kind of like he's had plenty of moments already throughout the series. Last week was kind of like his emergence on a national level is how I like to think about it, showing out against Tennessee on the road. And then with another kick return for a touchdown today, he's just incredible. Watkins has been so good for us, and I'm praying we can keep him around because this is a guy that you build your receiver room around for sure. Victorious. Freeport Tech earns a midseason conference victory over Army in West Point. Yes, very exciting victory for us to start out conference play strong against a team like Army that I didn't expect to be easy, but they also ran a completely different offense than what I was expecting. So there's also that. Also, I'm hearing the Misery Business cover playing in the background, a new thing in the new update, which I personally love because that song is awesome. But yeah, great to get a win to start conference play. We're 1-0, 4-1 on the season overall. So great start to this season. We're already well on our way to bowl eligibility, barring some kind of insane collapse, as I knock on some wood to make sure that that doesn't happen. But so we'll sim on ahead to next week. And yeah, we'll see if we get any recruiting news. I know we're still waiting on our first commit of the year, so maybe we'll see that here soon. We do get our first commit, and it's Prince Kukwa, the wide receiver. He's a gem receiver, a 3-star from Austin, Texas. He's not super fast, I know, but with him being a gem and with us needing to address our receiver room in a big way, I was very happy to take him in the class with the hopes that he can develop that speed a little bit more. I want to say he has like 85 speed or something like that. So hopefully that is the case, but great ad to get our first commit of the season. Welcome, Prince. Oh, we got another one, and it's Anthony Blizzard, the guard from Port Arthur, Texas. He was the guard I wanted way more. I know we were fighting Houston for him, and it looks like we won out that recruitment, which is awesome. The O-line, I will always look to improve it, and he's going to be a great add to it. We got another one, too. Stephen Merrick, the Mike linebacker from Cypress, Texas. We got a lot of Texas guys, but that's what you would expect from a small school in Texas. We got to keep the local kids home. And yeah, he's going to be a great add to the linebacker core. I think he's a pretty good athlete. I think he's got great size, too. I think that was why I liked him. He's like 6'1", 240 or something like that. If I'm trying to remember just off the top of my head, and I'm struggling. But great. Very exciting to see that as well. Do we have another? Oh my gosh, we do. It's Kevin Caudill, the corner from Lucas, Texas, the 3-star. We were fighting Kansas for him, and just like the J.D. Drew recruitment in the transfer portal, we went out again here over Kansas for a corner. So that's awesome. 4 commits in 1 week is crazy. Do we have any more? No, it doesn't look like it. It does look like we have a few more notes here. So once this menu advances... Oh boy, let's see. We got some players at risk. So Derek Simmons looks like he might leave. Oh gosh, all the guys with the full red bars are like all of the transfers we just got with Derek Simmons, Dante Carter, Aaron Fenimore, and JD Drew all looking like they're going to transfer. Our brand exposure just isn't very good. Playing style, I don't know. I guess for an edge rusher, maybe we just got to get sacks. I feel like I've posed this question before. I'm not 100% sure. Oh crap, Kirkland too. That's not a guy I want to lose. He's been our best O-lineman, like, by far. I do not want to lose him to the transfer portal as well. But, man, a lot of guys, a lot of most of these are, like, the lower-ranked guys. Oh, Bickley is threatening to transfer because of playing time? That's kind of interesting, I guess. He isn't playing much, I know that, with the add of Duke Clark and then Taylor and Brooks still ahead of him. And then, of course, the 2 freshman quarterbacks. That's not surprising, though. I know... Of all the positions, quarterback is the one where if they don't play right away, they'll almost always threaten to transfer. So hopefully we don't actually lose both of them, because then I'm going to have to try and retool the entire room in the transfer portal, which I don't really want to do. But yeah, I guess we're going to have to try and... Maybe brand exposure could go up enough if we have a good enough year. I don't know if we can necessarily win the American. I mean, we're still not a very high overall team, but the team's definitely playing well right now. There's no doubt about that. We're 4-1 on the year, currently in 4th place, so it's not out of the question. I guess we got to try and get more sacks if we don't want Simmons to transfer on us. So let's see what else we got going on. So if Isavea is visiting this week, we are still leading over Oklahoma State for him. And I guess one interesting note that I hadn't thought about, I believe Arkansas was the one that scheduled the Week 9 visit. If they get cut out, I don't think that visit's going to be a threat to us anymore. So as of right now, the Oklahoma State visit's the only one that I know of, unless Texas Tech added one to their schedule. Alonzo Gage has reached his top 3. We're still the only school that's offered him scholarships, so that's sick. Cortez Brady has reached his top 3. It's us and Houston, but we have a considerable lead for him, so that's awesome. And then Adrian Corcoran, who was another Mike linebacker that I added to the board. Or, I added to the board forever ago. I think I offered him a scholarship off rip, but then I went after Stephen Merrick instead, so I guess we're still the only one that's offered him a scholarship, so that's kind of cool, I guess. And there it is, UTSA. They're only 1-4, which is unfortunate. I was hoping this was going to be a higher profile game, but it is a rivalry game. And obviously, as we just saw on that last screen, it's a huge game because Ofisa Vea, the 4-star receiver, is visiting. So it's imperative that we win this game. We're absolutely going to have to. They absolutely destroyed us last year at their place. We get them at our place this year. Hopefully we can change that. Change the outcome and make it a blowout in our favor for the sake of helping the recruiting visit. And obviously we're going to have a ton of recruiting hours now with 4 dudes committing in 1 week, so I'm going to have to figure out what to do with all those, but obviously I will update with you guys on all of that. But that is going to do it for now. Thank you for joining me this week. 4-1 on the season. Huge win against Army. Let's see if we can keep the momentum going and win probably not our biggest game of the year in terms of like profile of the opponent or anything, but our biggest game of the year for recruiting purposes. We have got to win this game. So hopefully we're able to do that. But that is for next week. Again, thank you for joining me. Love and appreciate each and every one of you. And I'll see all y'all in my next episode. Later, y'all.